Sue Perry. I'm very excited that Sue is here. She is the Health and Wellness Coordinator for the City of Santa Fe. Sue, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
Thanks so much for being here. Now, you are you're the Health and Wellness Coordinator for the city, which means you oversee a ton of different things. There's a lot going on. You're working over at the GCCC on all sorts of different issues. But the big one today that we're here to talk about is the City of Santa Fe, the Mayor Gonzalez's Gold Cup Fitness Challenge, Health and Wellness Challenge.
Health and Fitness Challenge.
Health and Fitness Challenge.
I know.
I knew I was close on the...
You were close. You were close. It's a long, especially when I'm saying it short, I'll say the Mayor's Gold Cup Challenge.
Yeah, the Gold Cup Challenge. That works. So what the heck is it? It's in its second year now.
Tell
us all about it.
Well, it's Mayor Gonzalez really wanted to do the kind of a challenge and a contest that everybody could join in on. And so it's targeted first at city employees. However, we are more than willing to share. We have a complete packet for registration and how the program works with anyone in the community that wants to do it for their folks. So for instance, the county's doing it this year as well, and they did it last year and with great success. So I'm always glad to share our materials and coach people if they're interested.
Help them set them up internally at their organizations and run
So the mayor was
service.
really interested that we have a initiative or a contest we started last year that has 3 elements, which is fitness and activity, healthy eating, and community service, because that's one of the things he's really interested in, and I so support him on that. So this year, what we did is based on our feedback from last year's challenge, we kind of moved the rules around a little bit so that there's a cap on the number of exercise minutes a team can do to get bonus points.
Gotcha.
But everyone on the team has to do 100. So the idea is to get everybody to a certain level to build, ownership.
100 hours of exercise per
100 minutes exercise per week.
I was going to say 100 hours of exercise a week might be a little over the top.
There were people who were almost doing that last year, which was kind of crazy. And then the cap is 420. So what that means is they can do another 320 and get bonus points for that.
Gotcha.
And then healthy eating is that you have to have a teammate sign off twice a week that they saw you drinking a healthy drink, which is a non-sweetened drink, bringing your lunch, having a healthy snack like chips and salsa, something like that, and then they can get bonus points if once a day they bring a healthy snack to share with their team members and other people. So they could get 5 bonus points per day, so that's 5 days they can do that. What's really changed, and what I love, because it really brings in this idea of our being part of a larger community, is the community service part of it. So last year we just kind of did a trial balloon and said you have to do an hour during the entire 10 weeks of the contest. So this year, each team member has to do 3 hours, and it can be anything from you're volunteering at your kid's soccer team to you take your elderly neighbor grocery shopping every week, any of those kinds of things.
Yeah.
But this year, beyond the 3 hours per person, so they get their team points, anything above that is 1 extra point per hour, and there's no cap on that. So there are a lot of people, the strength they bring to the team is they can do the 100 minutes, and they can do the basic healthy eating, but maybe there's someone that do a lot of community service, and they can bring in bonus points that way. So it really levels the playing field for the teams, and it also, I think, honors the fact that different people bring different things to the table.
Sure.
So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah,
And we have some really cool prizes this year. They're much more about experience. So besides the trophy and the bragging rights, of course, then in addition to that, the prizes include things like a day of administrative leave or half a day, depending on whether you're first or second place, having an evening at the Santa Fe Cooking School with your team.
That's the one we've got our eye on.
Yeah, that's first place. So you got to work hard. Also things like class passes at the community centers for classes, because even though our employees can get access to the recreation centers through part of one of our recreation benefits for free, it doesn't include classes. So it encourages people to try new classes. And then one of the prizes also is really cool lunchbox with containers, and then I'm going to provide a class with that, with how to make like a rocking lunch and bring it to work. So
awesome.
they're experience things and they're fun things, but they also support people's healthy lifestyles.
So when does it kick off? It kicks off, I know sign up runs through the 15th. Yeah,
this week. And
Friday.
Then, we will sign people up on the 15th, but the 15th is when it starts.
Got it.
So we have done late signups before, but what that means is it's just going to put your team a little disadvantage on the points.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
But we're glad to have people participate anytime.
So good. All right. So the sign up ends on the 15th. So all those city employees out there who are thinking about doing this, putting a team together, the clock's ticking.
The clock is ticking. Celeste, who's my assistant, and I, one or both of us, will go to where you are and sign up the team. So we're really trying to make it easy.
As easy as possible.
And low stress as possible. Plus, there are sign-up gifts for people when they sign up their team.
Oh, now we're talking. Okay, all right. So there's some sign-up goodies involved. There's some victory prizes for the top teams.
Yep.
Do you remember who won? And then it's just a race to the finish line. Whoever gets the most
it's a race
points
to the finish.
by what's the deadline?
Well, it's 10 weeks. So
10
it's 10
weeks.
weeks from the 15th, which
Got
is August something. Well, what really makes it fun is that what we do is, so the team captains have to turn in they get a summary sheet, they turn in their points to us and where everybody's at by the Wednesday of the week after that week's records. And we do a scoreboard that we send out every week. So everybody can see where they're moving on the scoreboard. And it's really fun because we saw people really move up the scoreboard last year.
Yeah.
Like one of the teams in the police department has started out and they were like about 15th or something. And by the end of the contest, they moved up to 5th place, which was so cool. So it's not just the prizes, which is kind of nice, but it's like competing against other departments and seeing your group maybe move up past them when you do certain kinds of things. So that really makes it a lot of fun. And what it does, it really builds a lot of rapport and good habits with people. People start doing things.
That's the bottom line, right?
Yeah.
It's like the lifestyle changes that this incentivizes and encourages and teaches about, just in terms of tracking what you're eating and,
Right,
you know.
right. I want people to know that some very basic things really work in terms of being healthy. If you move every day, if you just try to drink not sweetened drinks, or bring in chips and salsa instead of cookies for a snack, and people just do some basic little things like that, it makes a huge difference, and it's not hard. And last year we did an evaluation after the contest to see how long people had continued some of those things, and something like 95% of the people that we got evaluations back from were still doing some kind of activity throughout the week, and we're still eating healthier. And so that speaks to the fact that we're hoping that after 10 weeks, people have kind of gotten into the habit of some of those things, and we'll keep them going.
Yeah, I can imagine. I hope so anyway. So who won last year, and are they coming back to defend their title this year?
Well, the municipal court won last year.
All right.
And I was just talking to them yesterday. They have not formed a team yet. I'm hoping they kind of wore themselves out last year, but I pointed out to them that this year the rules are a little bit different, and it may be a little, less of a crazy activity, because they were very competitive. And then I think second place was, I'm trying to remember, I think it was Lafarge Library.
Okay.
They were second. They are very competitive. They already have a team up and ready to go.
What are some of the lessons learned? What should the other teams have, what were they doing that was so successful last year?
They strategized, and the teams that really do well strategize in terms of for instance, doing things together, that sort of thing. Though this one, there's not as much emphasis on you have to have lunch together, that sort of thing. We're not doing that. They strategized and they competed with each other, so they would encourage each other. So if you have someone on your team that has not been a walk, and they're only up to 80 minutes, then another team member might grab them and say, hey, let's go take our break as a walk, and that'll be 15 minutes and we'll be closer to the 100. So there's a lot of team support and bonding, which is the thing I'm always looking forward to. And I think the other thing is people recognize you need to have a team captain that's good about getting your results in.
It's engaged.
So it's not the team captain has to do all the work for everyone, because everyone has their own tracking sheets and they just have to show them to them. It's a fairly simple system, but they have to be willing to get that from people, because the rule we had last year, we had this year is, and we do lots of reminders. We'll check it with the captain, we check it with the team if we're not getting their points in, is if they don't get their points in by the time we're ready to send out the scoreboard, which is usually Thursday or maybe Friday at the latest, they don't get credit for those points that week.
Nice.
So that happened once or twice, and people got a lot better about.
That's a harsh line. You got to draw it, though.
Well, and we do a really good job of supporting them and reminding them. We had a couple teams where there was a couple captains that were not kind of coming up to the table, and so we would send an email to everybody on the team and say, by the way, you won't be getting credit for your points this week if you don't get your team captain and send in your points. And boy, so it's peer pressure, which is the best thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Positive peer pressure. It's the best
and I think the other thing we learned is putting the cap on the exercise minutes, because the folks that were really feeling competitive, people were pushing themselves so hard, and other people, I think, other teams felt like they just couldn't compete with that. So this year, the groups I've talked to have realized that it's a much more even playing field, and their opportunity to, come up in the standings is, I think, much more possible.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. All right. Any predictions? Any handicaps? So how many points do you think it's going to take to win this year?
I don't know. I'm not going to make, I was actually kind of surprised last year, a couple of teams that really came up to the top. Actually, Municipal Court, who I know are enthusiastic, it really surprised me. Because, sometimes you always think about Municipal Court staff, being so competitive. And let me tell you, they were competitive.
All right. All right. I mean, I've learned dealing with a few tickets the hard way, that they take their jobs very seriously. So I'm not too surprised.
Yeah.
All right, great. Anything else? What's your number? How did folks contact
So
you if
they
they
can-
want to form a team?
So they can call my office, which is 955-4048, or they can call my cell, which is 660-9567, or they can call Celeste, whose number is 955-4010. And either or both of us can come, and we'll come and sign you up. So we're really trying to make things site-based so that it's possible for people to feel like it's not that big of a deal.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Very cool. All right, so reach out, give them a call, get
Sign
signed
up your teams. Let's get some teams
involved.
going here. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Sue. Appreciate
you
it.
very much.
Come back anytime.
Okay, thank you.
All right.